Going on, we got some stuff to talk about here. This just live as I sit down. The news from Georgia, which I don't know if I don't I have no idea if this is true. No clue if this is true. But just some random stuff on Twitter from Bad Hombre Joma_GC. Judge McAfee rules that Nathan Wade must step aside in the Georgia case in order for Fani Willis to stay on. That would preserve the case. Not great for Nathan Wade, but it is good for Fani Willis. Again, we don't really know. I can't call it personally. I can't call whether or not the Trump administration or the Trump campaign wants Fani Willis to be on or not, because this case has gotten so dirtied up. But that seems to be a story we'll be following for you. I don't know why I have my Walter Cronkite voice. Welcome here in Austin, Texas. Our Friday episode is up. It is not the episode that I promised you guys, but it is a good one. I like it. It turned into a feel-good episode because we had Gabe Fleischer of Wake Up to Politics, who wrote a great story. We had him tell an awesome story of Ringweiss, an anonymous Twitter account that is very, very, very knowledgeable in the ways of Congress. So everybody just kind of assumed they were an ex-congressional person, blah, 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 blah. Turns out, no, they're a college student from the UK. And it's really fun because Gabe Fleischer's background is that he started writing his political newsletter when he was 12. And his mom was he would just send an email every day about politics to his mom. And now he's in college and dude's going to have a hell of a career in front of him. Yeah, he's got a hell of a career behind him. It is an only in the internet story. And you know that I love them as an internet immigrant myself. Good morning, friends. Good morning. And then the other interview, a 2-interview episode, we did another interview with a man about anxiety. If you know me, you know I love talking about anxiety. Anxiety is something that I have an almost religious fascination with. Where anxiety comes from, what it really is, how you can harness it. Like, these are the things for which I will talk people's ears off about, because I've thought a lot about it. And he got into some really, really cool stories about a group called Better Angels, which seeks to bring people from different sides of the political spectrum together, have them talk. But he specifically laid out how he moderates those, because he moderates them. And I thought it was fascinating. It was really, really cool to see how people break down, not in a kind of gimmicky way, but in a very methodical, very interesting way. No Discord announcement. I don't know. You're like asking a dog to code, man. I don't know how the Discord announcements happen. If by Discord announcement you mean that, did Merrill @reply me in Discord and say stream today? And then I say yes or no? That's the only Discord announcement that I'm aware of. Claire, I'm an internet immigrant. I came from the real world and now I live on the internet. Yeah, I have no idea how the announcement channel works. No clue. No clue. Ooh. We're in we're into campaign season, baby. We're into campaign season when shit like this is popping up on Politico. Trump stands by Moreno despite link to adult friend finder account. Release the Oppo. Release the Oppo. The GOP Ohio Senate candidate was linked to an account, quote, looking for young guys to have fun. Former President Donald Trump is still standing by Bernie Moreno, his endorsed candidate in Ohio's nasty Senate Republican primary. Nasty. After a last-minute report rocked the race. In a statement Thursday evening, Trump's campaign made clear that he is not reconsidering his support for Moreno and lambasted the media over the Associated Press story linking Moreno to a 2008 account looking for young guys to have fun, made on Adult Friend Finder, a website typically used to arrange sexual encounters. At the moment, Trump's planned rally in Ohio to support Moreno is on. Politico has not independently verified the AP's reporting, so let's take a look at the old AP. For Republicans eager to regain the Senate majority, Ohio offers a prime opportunity to pick up a critical seat. Ahead of Tuesday's primary election, there's mounting anxiety inside the GOP that Bernie Moreno may emerge with the nomination after vaulting into the top tier of contenders with a coveted endorsement from Donald Trump. Moreno, who has shifted from a public supporter of LGBTQ rights to a hardline opponent, that's a hard sentence. That's a hard sentence because I don't know shit after reading it. Moreno, who has shifted from a public supporter of LGBTQ rights to a hardline opponent. So does that mean he's rounding up gay people on the streets? Does it mean that he's against puberty blockers for minors? What does that mean? Like, I'm not here to say that anything should be soft pedaled, but if clarity is the point in writing and in news writing, clarity is the only thing. Brevity and clarity. That's it. Those are your twin North Stars. You are walking toward those at all times. If you are writing something that does not make you clearer on the situation, then reconsider that sentence. That's kind of the art of news writing, theoretically. But, of course, they say that to say this is confronting questions about the existence of a 2008 profile seeking men for one-on-one sex on a casual sexual encounter website called Adult Friend Finder. Hi, looking for young guys to have fun with while traveling, reads a caption on the photoless profile under the name Nardo 1967-2, according to an Associated Press review of the records made public through a massive and well-publicized data breach of the website. Records also show that the profile was last accessed about 6 hours after it was created. Maybe after, the clarity hit, the post clarity. Or maybe he was the lonely boy. I don't know. Lost lonely boys. How far is heaven? The AP review confirmed that somebody with access to Moreno's email account created the profile, though the AP cannot definitively confirm if it was created by Moreno himself. Questions about the profile have circulated in GOP circles for the past month, which it's like, where do you think this came from? Where do you think this came from? Where do you think this came from? Is it somebody who's trying to make sure that he doesn't lose to Bernie Moreno? On Thursday evening, 2 days after the AP first asked Moreno's campaign about the account, the candidate's lawyer said a former intern created the account as a prank. The lawyer provided a statement from the intern, Dan Ricci, who said he created the account as part of a juvenile prank. What the hell was that? I am thoroughly embarrassed by an aborted prank I pulled on my friend and former boss, Bernie Moreno, nearly 2 decades ago. The AP couldn't independently confirm Ricci's statement as he didn't immediately respond to messages left for him on multiple phone numbers. He donated $6,599 to Moreno's campaign last year. Moreno's lawyer, Charles Harder, insists Moreno had nothing to do with the AFF account. Wow, I initially read this next sentence as once a premier swing site, talking about adult friend finder. Once a premier swing state, Ohio has moved sharply to the right. Trump won the state in 2016 and 20, and the GOP controls top statewide offices. This has raised hope that Republicans can defeat Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown. The dynamics of the stakes have raised the state for Trump, who sided with Moreno in a crowded field that includes Secretary of State Frank LaRose and State Senator Matt Dolan. Trump is scheduled to appear with Moreno on Saturday. Okay. Moreno's potential vulnerability has sparked frustration among senior Republican operatives and elected officials in Washington and Ohio, according to 7 people who are directly familiar with the conversations on how to address the matter. The people requested anonymity to avoid running afoul of Trump and his allies. They described concerns surrounding Moreno's candidacy as so acute that some party officials sought to the review of data to determine his potential involvement. That review, according to a person with direct knowledge of the matter, linked the profile to Moreno's work email address. The AP's independent review reached the same conclusion. The AP obtained data from the Adult Friend Finder leak, as well as information that remains publicly accessible on the company's website. An analysis of those records shows that the profile was created and authenticated by somebody who had access to Moreno's work account. Beyond the work email, the profile lists Moreno's correct date of birth, while geological data indicates that the account was set up for use in a part of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where property records show Moreno's parents owned a home at the time. The account's username, Nardo19672, appears to be Moreno's full first name, Bernardo, as well as the year and month of his birth, February 1967. And then we have a cybersecurity person. A little Moreno stuff. And okay, so here we go. We get into the LGBTQ stuff. Before Moreno began articulating anti-LGBTQ views during his runs for public office, he made comments that seemed to reflect acceptance of homosexuality. Again, like, let me just say this. Whenever you're dealing with a coalition, the broader the coalition, the more specific you need to be. Right? So for example, let's stay on the in the political world. If I were to say all Republicans are evil, that would be looked at as probably broad. You know, it's a sentiment on some unhinged elements of the internet, but it is broad. We would agree there. If you were drill down, oh, I am disgusted by pro-war elements of the Republican Party, and I believe that they need to be driven out, then you have a more specific element. Again, clarity is the key here. The LGBTQ plus coalition is, by the name, a broad one and growing broader. It encompasses a lot of different issues, and many of them are distinct from each other. So to say that somebody has anti-LGBTQ views encompasses a lot of stuff, to the point where I think in our modern news landscape, considering how much we talk about this kind of stuff, it doesn't help to just say that. You should be specific, and hopefully they are. When Cleveland and Akron won their bid to host the 2014 Gay Games, an Olympic-like international competition featuring LGBTQ athletes, Moreno was an enthusiastic supporter, while his auto dealership company was a financial sponsor, according to an opinion article he wrote for the business publication Crain's Cleveland Business. A successful Gay Games would go a long way toward boosting our image as cities that welcome all, Moreno wrote while issuing a call for Northeast Ohio's philanthropic community to rally behind the event. The need to help hosting a complex multi-venue event requires a network of financial supporters and volunteers. During a 2016 question and answer session posted to his company's YouTube page, Moreno noted that his eldest son is gay, while crediting the TV show Modern Family with changing perceptions about same-sex marriage. We watched those two guys and we said, you know what? They're good guys. They're great people. They're not this distorted thing that's out there. And I think that's the ways that we can break down stereotypes, Moreno said during the event. I think I've heard Andrew Heaton say literally the same thing, those same words. Is Andrew Heaton Bernie Moreno? And what was he doing on Adult Fred Finder? We'll dive into that on the next We're Not Wrong. As recently as 2020, his companies were included in a list of Ohio businesses that supported, when flyers appeared on Cleveland State University urging gay and transgender students to commit suicide, Moreno, who was then the chairman of the school's board of trustees, was the leading signer of a letter condemning abhorrent messages as an attack on our entire campus. As recently as 2020, his companies were included in a list of Ohio businesses that supported a law banning discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. Leaders of Equality Ohio, a leading LGBTQ rights group in the state, said that Moreno joined the campaign, blah, blah, blah. But that all appeared to change when Moreno first ran for Senate in 2021. Before bowing out of the race early, he began to distance himself from his past activism, professing to be unfamiliar with the anti-discrimination legislation and the Cleveland Plain Dealer reported at the time. During a Senate campaign, Moreno has accused advocates for LGBTQ rights as advancing a radical agenda of indoctrination. Okay. So he is anti-activism. I mean, again, advocates for LGBTQ rights, broad coalition. That is a broad coalition. There are advocates and there are advocates, right? Just as the Biden administration. They tried to have a Pride Day barbecue, and some people were really polite, and other people were whipping their titties out. You know, it's a broad, ever-growing spectrum. There's a reason why you have the plus there. His campaign social media accounts have blasted his opponent, Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose and State Senator Matt Dolan, as supporters of the radical trans agenda. Okay, so I didn't want to immediately jump to which letter of that coalition I'm assuming he's getting in trouble for, but bingo. A recent TV ad paid for by Buckeye Values A pro-Moreno super PAC superimposes a picture of LaRose over a rainbow flag while attacking him as a champion for trans equality. The ad cites LaRose's past endorsement for a bill which Moreno's company previously supported that would have banned discrimination based on gender identity or sexual orientation. Can you trust Frank LaRose? A narrator asked while criticizing LaRose for making favorable statements in the past about Equality Ohio, a prominent gay rights group. Moreno supported the same legislation through his companies. All right. So here's what we need to look up. Polling. We need to look up polling. Let's see if Real Clear Politics has anything. Yeah. Ohio Senate Republican primary. Ooh, we're all over the place. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Oh, all right, here we go. So LaRose had largely led this. And since then, it's really gone back and forth between Moreno and Dolan. The most recent from this month has Moreno up. When did Donald Trump endorse Bernie Moreno? I think he endorsed him super early. Yeah, it was December. December of last year. Trump endorsed Bernie Moreno, and you will see, Moreno before 10, 7, 9, right? Moreno after 22, 23, 22. This looks like a for real three-way dance. Now, the last person who got the Trump endorsement won. That was J.D. Vance for the Senate. Over who did J.D. Vance beat in the Republican primary? Oh, I want to say it was another M name. But this is an interesting one. I know some Republicans in Ohio now. Should give them a call, see who they are into. But Donald Trump doing a big event there is a big deal. I mean, for sure that stuff is leaked by either Dolan or LaRose. Probably Dolan. And what likely happens is a gigantic packet of negative information just falls into the lap of the AP. Mandel, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I knew it was another M word. That Josh Mandel, yeah. And I guess the trans stuff is playing now in Ohio, or at least in this primary. Let's see. Buckeye values LaRose. Oh, here we go. Here is the ad. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is the Buckeye Values Pack. So this is pro Bernie Moreno, anti LaRose, and obviously leaning into the culture war here. Obviously leaning into the culture war.
Can you trust Frank LaRose? He's called a champion for trans equality, supports taxpayer funding for abortion provider Planned Parenthood. And here's LaRose on a liberal group that wants minors to transition without notifying parents.
To my friends from Equality Ohio, congratulations on 15 years of fighting to make Ohio better and more equal.
Frank LaRose.
My friends from Equality Ohio.
No friend of ours. We just can't trust him. Buckeye Values Pack is responsible for the content of
The first thing I think is this break beat. Hold on, let me make sure that that you guys can hear, because this has happened before. All right, good. You guys can hear it. So we'll break this down. The immediate thought is, boy, are they going lighthearted with this music. You know, in general, whenever there's a scary ad, you want it to be like Frank LaRose. Frank LaRose says you need to blah 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 before you blah blah blah. The toilet paper should go over and not under. Are you a over wiper? Frank LaRose, no thank you. But this, and I don't know, I mean, the funniest explanation would be they're like, oh, it's a gay ad, so we need gay music. But just listen to the background music.
Can you trust Frank LaRose? He's called
do. These three friends are making their way through New York City. Like that's what this is. It sounds like every rom-com.
Can you trust Frank LaRose? He's called a champion for trans equality.
She's just a 20-something girl making her way in the big city. But what she doesn't know is there's a lot of challenges around the corner.
Supports taxpayer funding for abortion provider Planned Parenthood. And here's LaRose on a liberal group that wants minors to transition without notifying parents.
To my friends from Equality Ohio, congratulations on 15 years of fighting to make Ohio better and more.
So what's happening here is that for both Moreno and LaRose, you had a situation in Ohio where you had to pivot to the middle because it was a swing state, and then it became a red state. And so now everybody who pivoted to the middle is going to get punished in a Republican primary where these issues have become animated. Let's just understand it. They are motivating. The point of an election is to get people to a booth so they can hit your button more than the other person's button. It's a little thing called democracy. So if you have an issue that animates people, and very obviously this stuff does in Ohio, because you wouldn't run an ad like this. You wouldn't spend the money on an ad like this unless it did. You are going to find every moment. So you want to know what? Now I'm actually thinking that it's probably the LaRose people that are like, oh, you want to slam us? You want to slam us? Huh? When you were on the internet looking to get slammed with some hot young boys in your area?
Equal.
Frank LaRose.
My friends from Equality Ohio.
No friend of ours. We just can't
I don't know if anyone only listens to this in audio, but that slide whistle is an I stand with Planned Parenthood button and a trans rights now button flying superimposed onto the shirt of Frank LaRose. Frank LaRose, question mark, too liberal. You can't trust him. It reads. Every political ad needs a slide whistle. I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm for every political ad having a slide whistle. That's good. Oh, Soul Crates, you are audio only. That's good. I was not I was not aware that race was so close. I'm dialed in now. I'm locked in. And I think if you're Democrats, in fact, I think there was another story. Am I getting paid a living wage for this broadcast, homie? I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid. You don't know what? Don't no worry about me. Don't no worry about me. No, I'm living my dream. That was HH from Twitter. By the way, we will take calls. We will take calls. Let's find out if that Nathan Wade story was real, and then we will open up the phone lines. But whenever I saw, look, Bernie, any candidate caught up in a gay scandal, dude, I'm coming running. This is what I live for. Love this. All right, let's see. Nathan Wade. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, no, this is. Come on. What do we got here? Join Fox News for acts. Fox News has a fucking paywall. All right. A Georgia judge ruled Friday that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis or the prosecutor that she had a romantic relationship with must step aside before the office can continue its electoral interference case against the former president and his allies. Judge Scott McAfee ruled that Willis's once romantic relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade constituted an appearance of a conflict of interest in a racketeering case and barred the prosecutors from continuing to oversee it unless Willis or Wade leaves the case. Let's here we go. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and feed this one into the old Chat GPT. Dude. Willis will be Trump's VP pick. List the reasons cited by the ruling for conflict of interest. So when you ask it, does ChatGPT give you accurate information? Well, think of ChatGPT like an intern. If I had an intern and I said, read this, they read really, really fast and they summarize the information that you're getting is at best case scenario, good, and at worst case scenario, a hasty summarization. So I'm not going to build any religions based on what this is. But if I want a general summary, I have uploaded the PDF. It has read the PDF and it is summarizing it based on the question that I gave it. Now, does that mean that my question is good? Does that mean that it will confidently give me an answer to it? But if we're looking for quick and dirty, let's just get up to speed a little bit. I think it's a worthwhile tool. It was contended that a DA had a personal stake in the prosecution of the case by financially benefiting from her romantic relationship with Special Assistant District Attorney Nathan Wade, whom she personally hired. The allegations included the DA and SADA Wade traveled together on vacations. Wade covered many of the expenses. The court found that the defendants failed to prove that the DA acquired an actual conflict of interest through her personal relationship and travels with her lead prosecutor. It was noted that the defendants did not present sufficient evidence indicating that the DA received a material financial benefit from her decision to hire and engage in the romantic relationship. Although the court found no actual conflict of interest, it recognized a significant appearance of impropriety affecting the prosecution's team. This was due to the DA's decision to continue supervising and paying Wade while maintaining a romantic relationship, the irregular financial transactions between them without clear reconciliation. The defendants also alleged forensic misconduct and cited other constitutional, statutory, and county provisions in support of disqualification. However, the court did not find sufficient grounds for disqualification based on these allegations, emphasizing the need for the DA's actions to not undermine confidence in the criminal justice process. So, that's the quick and dirty on the ruling. And with that, we're going to take your calls. Oops. No. Call now. 510 404 8030. Some of the Titanic 10 are here, indeed. Give me whoever's calling now. Yeah, give me another ring. I don't know why it is not giving me the option to pick up here, but keep calling. Keep calling and we will make it through. There we go. Hello, who is this?
Hey, just another pilot.
What's up, dude?
Not much, man. You see, AP is calling for Fannie to step aside.
AP is calling for her?
Yeah, Associated Press had an article. Whiskey posted up in the chat for Discord. But anyway, they are asking Fannie to step aside from the indictment of Trump.
That's an editorial?
Yeah, yes. Do you want me to put it in the chat?
I mean, if it's an editorial, I don't really care. It's just an opinion, right? Like,
well, but it's the AP. I mean, it's I don't know, man.
But who cares? The AP's point is not to have opinions. So it's like, you know, an opinion published in the AP, that's really not their strong suit. Now, if Biden calls her to step aside, now you got my attention. But I don't believe she's going to step. I don't believe she is going to step aside. I believe she is going to fire her ex-boyfriend, which is it's either him or her. If it's her, then the entire case is imperiled. If it's him, then it might be a benefit because at least half of the element of impropriety is removed.
But it's something. Did Biden ever get a bump on the polls from his drug-fueled State of the Union speech? I could not figure out if we came to a conclusion on that.
No, in fact, they went the other way. He has
Okay.
continued to drop. Yeah.
Not so good, Al. Not
so good. Not so good. It turns out you don't necessarily
Drugs
get a
bad.
poll bump because Twitter likes your speech.
That's strange, because it seemed like the people on the TVs and the Twitters are really liking it.
Oh, they loved it.
They don't
But I think it was
represent
written. It
voters.
was written for them, right? I think
Yeah.
there's a contingent, and I don't know if I said this on the show, but I meant to. One of my close friends has joked about Democratic politics at times, saying that it usually boils down to this rage that can be summed up with "we need to be yelling." Like that's kind of the end of every Aaron Sorkin penned monologue, right? Is like,
Yeah.
we need to be yelling, we need to be mad, we need to be this, we need to be that. And the speech reminded me of Biden taking that very seriously. Biden saying like, yes, we do need to be yelling. I'm yelling right now.
Yeah. Apparently it doesn't help.
No, we had inflation ticked back up this month. We had a higher than normal layoff. There was somebody wrote, or I saw it on Reddit this morning, that was like, the real reason why people don't like Biden's economy. I think it was a Forbes article, and I didn't read it because they had a paywall, but they
also it's Forbes. Like, oh, rich people think the economy's fine.
Well, no,
Okay,
so their point was that it's a real estate thing, and that part of the problem is, their lead that I read before the paywall was an older guy who wants to downsize his house because his kids have moved out, blah, blah, blah. But he bought his house, which he still owes mortgage on, at a 2% interest. And if he moved and bought a new place, he'd be buying it at a 7% interest. And so he's like, well, I'm not going anywhere. And I think that the general idea was that it is housing that is making people upset, to which I almost put it up on Instagram or Twitter with just like the real reason why people aren't thrilled with Biden's economy. And it's like, oh, I don't know. For me, it's because everything's more expensive and my wife got laid off. Like, that's why, like, currently I am not a cheerleader for the economy, because every time I go to the grocery store, it's way more expensive and my wife got laid off. So no, I don't think that the economy is booming currently, but personally,
Right.
All politics are local in this house. Not great, Bob.
Well, you did have a great episode of We're Not Wrong. Enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah. What did you? How did you take the aviation conversation?
It was good. I don't want everyone to get freaked out. I mean, more than they are, but some of this gets better when the planes are in the airline maintenance program. When you're transitioning from buying a new airplane to getting it through your A, B, C checks, it takes a little while for that to happen. But no, Boeing has a lot of issues and they got to get it figured out. And somebody has to make them figure it out.
So, yeah, of the solutions as you would look at it as an industry professional, what do you think would be what's like the hammer of God? What's a slap on the wrist?
Well, yeah, hammer of God would be, so the problem's going to keep coming up with these designated engineering reps. I used to certify airplanes long ago in a galaxy far away. I fly them now. We have designated people everywhere, designated engineering reps, designated pilots for the FAA. That is how the system works. So if you take that away, which is what they've been considering doing and starting to do, you will not get a clean sheet design for an airplane again.
Yeah.
So that's it. And we can't function as airlines without designees. So I would, if I were taking the hammer and doing some good, quote unquote, I'd be smashing the board of Boeing and getting rid of the CEO. I do agree with your Boy Scout take on We're Not Wrong. You got to do better than this. If we're going to give you the whole market, you got to do better than this, or we're going to fix this. And you won't like it when we fix it.
No, it'll be punitive. It'll be ugly, and every senator involved with it is going to make his friend the CEO of a competing airline or a competing manufacturer.
Right?
Like, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
It's going to be dumb. It's like, look, you've got a gravy train with biscuit wheels. Just keep it rolling. That's all we're asking. You've got infinite money. It's fine. This is a great gig for you. Don't screw it up by trying to sell some flakes on the side. This is all that needs, again, I'm not a gigantic personal government activist kind of person. That's not my first reaction at the very least. But as I've said on the streams, on We're Not Wrong this week, when you are in a privileged position, and Boeing is in a very privileged position, you got to be, you got to be a little Mormon with it. You got to be minding your P's and Q's. You got to be on top of shit, because if you get sloppy, then, that's when bad things need to happen to you.
Well, and here's another thing to think about. And the door plug thing, you have to remember the door plug that came off the Max is, I counted it up the other day, 3 layers of safety that got penetrated, right? 2 of them just from incompetence. And I don't quite understand the third one. But apparently there's paperwork issues that lead checks from the airlines to not look at certain areas that are walled off by the plastic paneling that looks like a cabin.
Yeah.
So this is a big miss. Like, I'm not going to pretend it isn't. None of this is great. There are a lot of layers of safety, and a Boeing 737 is not, a Ford F-150.
Yeah.
You're not taking it to the dealer to do your maintenance. Like, you don't pull in to the service line, throw them the keys, grab a cup of coffee, and then they come out with the old oil filter and say, hey, we replaced it.
Yeah.
That's not how any of this works. Like, you get the airplane, you're going to have a shakedown. There's things that are going to be wrong, and you fix them. That's how this works. I know that's not something we talk about a lot because it freaks people out, but it is a pretty safe industry. We have a lot of layers of safety. Right now, the manufacturing layer has an incredible problem. It'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what to compare it to. It's like finding out that your pilots weren't sleeping for like 30 years and they fixed that about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it'll get fixed. It'll be better. I know it doesn't look great, but have patience with us. We will start punching Boeing in the balls and get this rectified.
I can't imagine that there's
think.
not going to be a lot. And also, it's like, if you want a big old punching bag politically for old Mayor Pete, like, start swinging, dog.
Yeah, where is he?
Start swinging.
Where is he?
Like, you should be the chief tormentor of Boeing right now. You should be out front.
He should be on the news.
Yeah.
Every week with righteous indignation.
Oh.
I want to see him taking a sledgehammer to these people. This is insane. Where is he?
I mean, I just think it's also it's good politics. It's smart.
Yeah.
It's smart to do. No one's going to stick up for Boeing. There are no Nikki Haley aside. There are no Boeing super fans. There are no Boeing super fans.
Nikki's going to cheer Boeing Defense. Remember, those are two different divisions: Boeing Defense, Boeing Civilian. So.
Still, I mean, she's got the merch, so she wouldn't have to change anything. But yeah, I think this is it's just good politics. Both sides of the aisle. Get it right. Get it right.
Yeah, and it
right
would make
now.
Yes, and it would make me happy to see that the regulation organization that we put so much trust and faith in, which we all know has problems, when the problems get exposed to broad daylight like this, you have to fix them immediately. You
The
have to
jig is
snap your
up.
fingers and start
The
making
jig is
things
up
happening.
because
Yeah,
again,
jig is
it's
up.
like, look, yes, we live in a world of cell phones. We live in a world of social media. So whenever there's any kind of mechanical problem, we're going to know about it immediately. Everything's going to be caught in 4K. Cool. All right. We understand that. That is a different world than existed before. That being said, the second somebody dies on one of these flights, the second that we actually have a crash, which we have kept a remarkable clean sheet on here in America, it's not going to be a secret why. And whether or not it's exactly one of these reasons, you're going to get the blame. Boeing's going to get the blame. So that's why, like, politically, everybody in the boat, let's go. Like it's fix it now. So if anything happens, you were on the record saying, I've been screaming, fix it now.
Yeah, the problem is, like, at this point, United's about to go lease a bunch of Airbuses because Boeing can't get its act together. There's going to be a lot of temporary fixes, but there's no end. Like, it's like we say in the airlines, like, there is no reason to rush the takeoff, because if you go off the end of a runway, you're going to lose more money than we could ever save by being on time.
Yeah.
So Boeing's got to kind of have the same mentality. You can't cut corners and make money, because this is what happens. You're going to get set back 15 years on revenue.
Yeah.
This is never going away. So fix it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for helping give us perspective on that that subject. It was good. We actually got a couple emails yesterday about people, inspectors and stuff like that were giving us more context. So we'll talk more about it on the show. And can you say on the record right now that you don't hate Jen, because Jen thinks that you hate her?
Yeah, I wrote her an email to saying the same. No, do not hate Jen at all. I hated The Rock when he had the corporate elbow, when he turned heel, but I hated him so much I loved him. So maybe there's some of that, like WWE fascination, but no, we like Jen. We want Jen. We want her on there more. I feel like I've defended Jen many times in the Discord. So
just not when Jen popped in once, saw a bunch of people shitting on her, and was like, Grandpa Simpson pulled the immediate U-turn, and then didn't want anything to do with Discord ever again.
Yeah, Discord. Listen, Discord is rough. Like, that is a rough place to hang out.
Well, I will say, look, everybody gets the chat room they deserve. I tend to be a flame war veteran from back in the day. I got my stripes of pretty raucous internet shit. So it's like my taste for raucous internet shit is pretty high. Like I have there's not a lot, and this chat room is similar, where it's like, look, if you want to come in and you are not going to be able to talk some shit with people, then like this just probably isn't the place for you. Now, we're going to draw the line when it gets too toxic and it gets counterproductive. But in general, we're not going to solve the world's problems in the chat room, and you're not going to get 100% consensus. So make your point, throw your fists, and then when you're done, understand that we are all a community at the end of the day. But yeah, I think it was a little 0 to 60 for Jen when she jumped in there the first time.
That is fair. And if you tell her, like, we understand that, but you have to understand that is just how we roll. We're just having fun, and it doesn't look like fun to her, but we're having fun in there. We're posting memes. It's loud. We're obnoxious. It's a very loud bar, and you showed up at 1 a.m. thinking, let's get a few drinks in us.
Well, also it's hard because she's the straw that stirs the drink. Like, there are people that love there are people that love Heaton, that adore Heaton because he is the headmaster. He is the Yankee Doodle Panther, right? He's a walking cartoon character. There are people that appreciate me. Usually, like, the feedback with me is either appreciation or scorn. With Jen, it's all over the place, but it's all in capitals and exclamation points. It's either I love Jen. Jen is an avatar for everything that I think and believe. Thank God Jen was here. Jen dog walked you guys on that blah, blah, blah. Or fuck Jen. Jen's an idiot. Jen has no idea how math works. Like it's polarizing, right? But it gets the people going. You love to see it. It's good energy.
If we didn't have her, the show would be very tame. So we want her. We love her.
Yeah.
I don't think she should come on the Discord if that stuff bothers her. Just understand if anyone was picking on her and it was a bar fight, she'd have like 30 dudes throwing hands.
Oh, I think
there's
outside of the thing. I don't know. Maybe we do need to make a We're Not Wrong Discord. I feel like a We're Not Wrong Discord would actually be really, really helpful. Okay. Thank you for calling, Pilot.
Take it easy.
All right, bye. A lot of us dislike Justin because we thought we were Heaton, but we're actually Justin. I reveal the truth within you. I need a We're Not Wrong Discord like yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I would just have to start it. Or I'll tell you what, maybe there's just a fan Discord. Maybe there's just a fan Discord and somebody lets me know. What I mean, maybe there's a settling period where people come in and we see which Discord gets the traction. I don't know. We could leave it up to you guys. Mr. Merrill Barr, welcome.
Jerry, how you doing on this Friday?
You want to know what, man? I'm feeling great. Got to the gym this morning. Got a good workout in. I'm going to get a haircut with Heaton, actually. I'm getting a haircut with Heaton at noon.
Can you get matching haircuts? Because that'd be really funny.
I think we should both get each other's initials shaved into the side of our heads.
Do it. Yes. You should, though. And then your wife will be mad at you, but you should totally do it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, he has the luxury of being semi-single. Like,
I don't know how single the old boy is these days. He's I don't want to put his business out in the streets, but I would say, it would take a lot. Some lady shot her shot. Anyway, what's on your mind, Merrill?
I'm excited, man. The reviews are coming out for Civil War, and apparently it's awesome, as I was hoping it would be. You still not in?
No. It looks like shit.
Everyone's saying it's great. Everyone stopped by yesterday, and apparently it's great.
Oh my god! Who's this is all the but no, it's festival buzz.
Festival buzz doesn't necessarily mean shitty.
I don't think it means shitty. I just mean if you want it to be positive, like who do you think is going to be excited about it? Is it a crowd that's seeing it months before it comes out in theaters while the director and actors are in the room?
It's like a month. Like it's coming out like in a month.
That's what you want to correct me on? My point stands. People
who I saw who were shitting on it when the trailer came out and were like ready to hate that movie have come out saying, nope, it's a masterpiece. Oh my God. Like, now that concerns me a little bit only because I really want it to be a 90s thriller more than I want it to be this sweeping epic. And all the reports were it was a 90-minute movie. And I thought, like, well, a 90-minute movie is going to be a thriller more than anything. So I don't know how to feel yet, but I'm definitely excited by the positive.
But Merrill, come on, man. We know what it's going to be. We know it's going to be a fairly taut, high budget, super preachy action movie, right?
But I love those. I'm a big fan.
What's your favorite of that genre?
Of that genre, I'd say The Siege with Denzel Washington and Bruce Willis.
Okay. The Siege.
Do you know The Siege? Have
no,
you seen The
you've
Siege?
brought up The Siege before.
You got to watch The Siege.
Okay,
man.
but I haven't, and neither has anybody else in the chat. So can you name a movie that anybody has seen that is in that genre that you appreciated?
I mean, it sounds like I picked an obscure movie here. Uh, of that, I can't off the top of my head because I'm always thinking about the Siege when I think about Civil War. Yeah, because the Siege again, I didn't pick something obscure. It's also directed by Ed Zwick. Like again, I didn't pick an
Not a
obscure
fucking
movie.
household name. Look, I like Ed Zwick. I know Ed Zwick, but nobody. If you walked into a Denny's and say favorite Ed Zwick movies, the guy at the counter is not standing up and screaming The Siege.
Well, I agree. I agree. He's not a name, but you know his films, right? Everyone knows his movies. Last Samurai.
Okay, yes. I mean, how did this become an Ed Zwick defense session? I don't want to talk about The Siege. I want to talk about other movies that people. No, I want you to give comps that people have seen.
Preachy.
Super politically preachy, 90-minute high-budget action movies.
Well, Schwarzenegger did. What was the one Schwarzenegger did? God damn it. No, I keep thinking it's not Eraser. It's the other one. There's like the one that Collateral Damage. Collateral Damage.
What was the issue that they were preaching about?
They were all the same. It was we can't judge all Muslims the same, right? Because that was that era.
Yeah.
So it's like they were all the same. Of not all Muslims are terrorists, guys. Although I will say the exact opposite of that. Did you ever see the movie The Peacemaker with George Clooney?
No, I never did.
Oh my God. It's the exact opposite of preachy. It's, hey, we're going to be so fucked up as intelligence agencies that we're going to try and shoot the bad guy on a crowd street in New York City that we know has a nuclear device. And we're going to hit a bunch of civilians. Like, that's in New York City. It's so insane.
There's a God, The Daily Show. I think this was Jon Stewart. It was early Jon Stewart. Maybe it might have been Craig Kilborn, but they used to do a bit where they would have in Italian, like as if it were the Italian report of the American box office.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would just be like the top 5 movies of the week. And I remember to this day the things that stick in your head. But the only thing that I have in the file for The Peacemaker was one of those interstitials where they're like, and this is all in the Italian language. So you're just reading it in subtitles. And it says, The Peacemaker. George Clooney goes looking for a bomb and finds one at the box office.
One of the few action thrillers directed by a woman. Maybe Leader did that one. And it's really good. It's really stupid, but it's really good. It's exactly what you want out of a movie like that. His co-star is what's her name? Naomi, the one who's in the AMC ads.
Nicole Kidman?
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said. Yeah, it's Nicole Kidman and George Clooney hunting for a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And it's very good.
Okay, so obviously we're not looking at a bunch of top 50 grossing movies here. It turns out that if you make a taut high budget action movie, people don't want to think. So when you try to force people to think, then usually it doesn't mean that they like it. Usually,
well, we're also not really in a time where those movies. That's the other thing is that we really haven't made one of these movies in a long time because the action genre has been so infused by the franchise culture.
Well, here, all right. You want to know what? Canuch here in the chat says that V for Vendetta was a super preachy political action movie. And that, you want to know what? I'll give you. I will give you that. Although, well, no, you want to know what? This would fit Civil War. Because that's dystopian, right? And Civil War is dystopian. So, yeah, you want to know what? That would be the comp. That would be the comp is V for Vendetta.
The only difference being is that V for Vendetta has very specific source material.
Yes.
And
that was previously lauded, and Civil War is
that the only good adaptation of that guy's work? Is that the only one that is genuinely considered? No, that one was good.
Is V for Vendetta also considered good?
Yeah, people love V for Vendetta mostly because it was the Wachowskis producing it, and it was the guy who had done all the second unit on the Matrix films, and it was like the Wachowskis giving him his shot.
Well, isn't also that's the wasn't the rumor that it was the Wachowskis and they just didn't want to do press for it because it was in the middle of the transition?
Not that this would be the first time I've heard this rumor.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
I remember that rumor when it came out, that it was right around when Rolling Stone had written about the Wachowskis. They were huge after The Matrix, and I'm not even going to venture, because now they have both transitioned, so I'm not going to venture to even try to get the names right. But the first sister to transition, that was like ongoing, and there was like this stuff with like a dominatrix that was just kind of out there. And so the rumor was that the Wachowskis were very involved and basically directed the movie, but they wanted no parts of any of the press, and so all the credit went to their
McTeague.
yeah,
James McTeague. Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Who would then go on to direct one of my favorite silly action movies, Ninja Assassin.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Alan Moore's adapted works. I don't know.
But I think that's my.
Well, I mean, I guess like Watchmen. The Watchmen movie has its, I don't want to get the bots after me to say that the Snyder Watchmen movie wasn't great, but I think I don't hate the Watchmen movie. I love Watchmen. Watchmen's one of my favorite books. I'm a man of a certain age. Don't judge me. But like,
hey, Jerry, you're 40. Shocker.
I know. I like Weezer. I like Watchmen. I like Quentin Tarantino. Just fucking, yeah. I'm a 40-year-old man. Fucking get off my ass. The problem with it is that he just loves the source material so much that he can't really adapt it. He can't do the Peter Jackson element of realizing.
Snyder does. You're talking about Snyder.
Yeah, Snyder can't. And it's like one half a love letter, one half Snyder doing Snyder things. So,
I mean, it was always hard to adapt. I mean, I'll tell you this. I can tell you a little inside sauce, because the writer, one of the writers of the Watchmen movie, one of the two credited writers, David Hayter, who also did X-Men 1 and X-Men 2, was actually a writer on Warrior Nun when I was working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gave us a lot of like cool stories. And, he was adapting it as early as 2000.
Yeah.
And at one point he was actually going to direct it.
Oh, wow.
And the way in which him writing that script broke him mentally, because trying to wrap your brain around Dr. Manhattan is such a difficult concept.
Yeah.
That movie was kind of always destined for just people being upset with it for some reason, even as early as 2000 when they were originally trying to make it. Because it's just, that character is so hard to translate to movies.
Well, ultimately, the story, especially if you're adapting it to something shorter, is about the characters that you need to get correct are Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan. If you can't get them correct, you don't have the sun and moon for the story that is being told, because it is not complicated. It is biblical, right? It's like Old Testament. It is mythology on a level that, like, if you want to add, everyone else has nuance. Rorschach has nuance. Silk Spectre has nuance. Night Owl has nuance. Those are humans, right? But Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan are gods. And if you don't get that, then it's hard to tell the story. Now, I think that movie does get it. It's
a solid flick.
But it cut the fucking best line of the goddamn book. In fact, the point of the book, in my opinion. The point of the book, spoilers for fucking Watchmen, but the point of the book is, and if you haven't read it, read it. It's still worth reading. Even the hero, the person that you think is the hero, Ozymandias, is indeed the villain, and he is going to create a global calamity, a gigantic global calamity that will look like an alien invasion. So, killing thousands. So, and this is, remember, at the height of the Cold War, we would lay down our arms and come together. And so he pulls off this brilliant thing. He's killing superheroes. He's doing other shit, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end, he wins. The villain wins. The villain wins, but he believes he's the hero. He believes that he had to do hard things so society will not kill itself. And again, it's hard looking at this in a perspective past the Cold War to take out the existential dread and terror that was looked at as two governments that were just going to end the world. It was like climate change, but two people with fingers on triggers, right? And then the end, the final, this god, this literal god, Dr. Manhattan, who can zap in and out of time. He is existing in multi-planes of existence. He agrees that a very human character can't spill the beans, or else the entire point of why those people died is gone. And so he eliminates that threat. But when Ozymandias, for the first time, after going through all of this, he goes through all of this, the one moment of true vulnerability that he shows is when he asks Dr. Manhattan whether or not he has done something good. And Dr. Manhattan essentially tells him nothing ever ends. You've done a thing, but nothing ever ends. Everything will continue to go. Everything will continue to move. It's one of the most profound moments that I have ever experienced. It's one of my favorite moments in all of media. And they fucking left it out of the goddamn movie, except for like a postscript with Silk Spectre at the very end, where she's like, there was that one thing that my ex-husband liked to say, nothing ever ends.
So you have thoughts.
I got thoughts. I like the movie. That was like the one part where I'm like, thinking of an adaptation, I'm like, that's your fucking Oscar moment, right? Like that's your big, the script has to revolve around the arrogance of Ozymandias and the wisdom of a god who wants to leave his kingdom. Like that, because that's who Dr. Manhattan is. Dr. Manhattan is like, this is the last time he really even wants to be around humans. He's going to go to Mars. He's going to make his own race of people on Mars. And this is like his deuces moment. So he's like, all right, we'll let this thing go for now. We're not going to let it be released. And then I'm out. And Ozymandias is like, I did a good. And he's like, did you? And then leaves. Like,
but not before trapping Ozymandias on Jupiter. At least that's what Damon Lindelof told us.
No, God, don't even get me started. I mean, look, the problem with the Watchmen show is that they just wanted to do another show. They just didn't want to do Watchmen. And that's fine. They did another show that involved a bunch of other stuff, but it's like, it didn't play with the themes or characters of Watchmen. It was just another thing. It's fine to be another thing.
I'll take it politically and then I'm gonna go. TikTok. So
Yes.
Regardless of whether or not this goes through, it kind of you've now set a precedent at least to me, that you can regulate these guys if you want to. Could there ever be a push as the youth vote gets older and is more attuned to the technology? Will we ever see a world where Congress puts more effort on regulating American social media companies like Google and Facebook and etc.? Or are we just forever destined to let the algorithms run wild as long as they're not Chinese?
I would say if you want more regulation, then this getting regulated does open the door for more regulation.
Does it matter that the motives behind this regulation have nothing to do with actually regulating social media?
Do they? I mean, look,
if they did, it would be, if they did, wouldn't it be a sweeping, bill for all of them. And
Why
not
don't
just
I get everything I want right now? Why are there other perspectives? I don't like it. Boo. It's not everything. Some people want it to be everything, and we're going to see what happens with the Senate conference when it comes to that. But the reason why, if TikTok is banned, and the reason why we are in this situation right now is not because of the security stuff, in my opinion. Whether or not you believe in Project Texas, whether or not you just think it's a veil and that China's going to get whatever data they want no matter what. And I'm more open to that argument in general, but I am very much convinced and swayed by my good friend and one of the best thinkers in the world of tech, Tom Merritt's perspective that, hey, if we have a problem with that, then there's a lot of mobile games that we need to start regulating.
Oh, sure.
Because
100%.
they have just as much of an install base and they have just as much of access to everything else on your phone. They are asking for everything there too. So if that's the problem, then there are other issues that you should probably deal with that go outside of TikTok. What makes TikTok special is culture. How much are you affecting culture? And are we comfortable that a Chinese company can have an undiluted effect on American culture as it shifts away from very controllable platforms, television, radio, newspapers to a certain extent, into uncontrollable, feral internet message boards, essentially. And that's what the difference is. The difference is we think China took a divisive issue and made it even more divisive in America. And we believe that they did it before there was even a larger call for it. And so we think that they have their thumb on the scale. They are sowing dissension. And that's that. Now, let me say this on top of it. I know that the most serious thinkers on misinformation, not just hacks who are looking to do political, work, but serious thinkers on what outside forces do to spread misinformation. The biggest thing is just sowing dissension, regardless of the aim of why it's happening. Finding a wedge issue and making people fight more about it. This could be anything, culture, politics, whatever. But there's a reason why when we talk about like what the Russians actually did for like the 2016 election, it was hosting events that were on both sides of the issue just because they want people out in the streets screaming. That is a tried and true misinformation tactic. And so if what you want to do is just raise the temperature of America and you have undiluted access to culture, that would be a thing to do. And I am assuming that that's probably the argument that was made to the House that got everybody fired up. If you believe that it's not a security thing, it's a culture thing, and you ban TikTok, then I do believe you are creating momentum to say, well, what are we doing with American companies? People for whom we can pull their chain. We don't need to outright ban stuff. Do we need further regulation? Do we need age restrictions, hard age restrictions? Do we need X, Y, or Z? I don't know. But I do think that in general, regulating a thing means more regulation of other things is more likely as opposed to less likely.
Speaking of age restriction, I'm going to hang up after I say this because you can take it off here. I don't need to be here for this. I would love to hear your thoughts on Pornhub banning Texas's access over some age restriction bill in Texas. Bye.
Yeah. No one outporns the hub. It's man, Texas legislature solving all the big problems, aren't they? They're just out there making my life better. Making my life better. Yeah. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? Yeah, another company that Ash can't work for now. Thanks, Governor Abbott. The best Weezer album. I don't think that there's really an argument that it could be anything other than the Blue Album. It's a no skip masterpiece. I think for my own sentimentality, I would say Pinkerton is probably my favorite. It's the one that I've probably spent the most time screaming and yelling with friends and lovers. So those would be the two. But the Blue Album it's perfection. That's the thing. It's like you can say that you love Pinkerton and it might be a more complex album, but it's not a more perfect album. That's what's unique about the Blue Album is that it is just like banger, 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 banger. It's like almost this platonic ideal of like up tempo, down tempo, exactly when you need it. And it's short. It's like a half hour. Am I going to delve into Texas politics on the show? I don't know. What do you want me to? I should. I always say that I should just do more drinking by the Capitol. Adawan says the lyrics don't hold up. Are you talking about the Blue Album? Look, homie, they didn't hold up when I was first listening to it. Like no one else is psychotic, right? But then again, like so is is it Little Girl from the Beatles' Rubber Soul? Run for Your Life. That's what it's called. Run for Your Life. Run for Your Life is that is a fucking startling reflection of and let's be charitable, male fragility. You want to talk about male fragility in media? Talk about Run for Your Life by the Beatles. Talk about No One Else by Weezer. These are songs about very, very, very scared boys and a adversarial relationship to women. But also it's like geez, there's a lot of emo music from the aughts and the tens where it's like, geez, were the boys okay? Were the boys okay? I don't know. Does Jen ever wish that she had somebody else on her side in We're Not Wrong? Or does she like being a solo star defending the opposing point of view on some issues? I would ask her that. I don't think that internally we think of it like that. I think that we all kind of slide around into different perspectives, but there are more well-worn hobby horses where, when we get to economics that, me and Heaton probably side a little closer to each other. But then again, there are certain things like governance, at least in terms of some of the stuff where I'm against both Heaton and Jen. And, I don't know. Or like a lot of the culture stuff we're lockstep with. I very much see myself in Jen. Have the boys ever been okay? I don't know. Do the lyrics from the Slim Shady LP hold up? Well, no, but that's like, saying, does the violence in a horror movie hold up? It's like, regardless of who Eminem and, Eminem's a never Trumper who might campaign with Joe Biden in Michigan, right? Snoop Dogg does kids programming now. Doesn't mean that the Slim Shady LP and Doggy Style are anything other than what they were, which is very specific forms of art. The Slim Shady LP was just a absolute a fracking into the intersection of white angst and hip hop at the perfect time. The boy struck gold, but his kind of horror lyrics are what they are. Yeah. Uh-oh. Looks like we have a wife.
Hey, I live here.
Hey. Oh, wait, hold on.
I'm wife. I'm a grubby wife. Hi.
You are a grubby wife.
I haven't showered yet.
Have you worked out?
No, I just finished a call this morning.
Oh,
now I
yeah.
need to work out. I was like, well, I could work out or
Uh-huh.
I could join the stream
And not work out.
stink up your workplace
Stink it up.
and then work out and get stinkier.
Yeah.
So I put a shirt on. So I'm not just on your stream in a sports bra.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. That would be I'd be doing better. Our X viewership.
All
would love-
right.
No. Put them away. Put them away.
Fine.
What's happening? Everybody's always asking me about you. They're like, how's Ash? How's the job hunt? Job
hunts aren't fun.
No.
They're very boring right now.
It's like an Easter egg hunt where there's only one egg. And every time that you think that you found an egg, it actually is a rock.
One egg in the entirety of the tech industry looking for that egg.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's fine. I'm looking. I only really started looking in February.
Yeah.
I pretty much took all of January off because I am blessed and my loyalty at a company for 8 years has paid off. So I have time. But I've had a few calls.
We've had some close calls, but
one close call. But I've had some
one call that was shockingly about as close as you could get to it being just a job.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've had some calls and everything. It's just a rough market. It's a really tough market.
It's so bad right now. But I'm okay. I'm having a interview scheduled. Whoa, low microphone. Hey, don't fall on me.
What are you doing? Fiddling.
It was falling over. I stopped it.
Fiddling.
I'm not fiddling. You're fiddling. I do have an interview with a company next week that is fully remote. So
have you
hoping
applied
for that
at
one.
InfoWars? If we're looking at
Not yet. I haven't.
Local tech companies.
I'm sure they pay so well.
It's mostly in fish oil and gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving along. I think it's going to take a little while, annoyingly, but hopefully not. Maybe this will be the call next week. So,
Rediske says, new to the live stream, what did Ash do at Twitch?
The most recent thing that I did was a lot of strategy stuff. So creator strategy. And I had a team that executed like program managed things. So I worked with all of our global partnerships teams.
And we were very, very happy, very, very thankful. And that's going to be what we're going to say about Twitch. So we're moving on. Update the Gadsden flag. Don't fall on me. Yeah. Sometimes, because Heaton and Jen both wind up pushing them down. And so like you can see
you hide here.
No, you can see it on Heaton's. It doesn't become a tripod. The middle pops down, and so it becomes unstable. So you actually have to, I don't know.
You need a sandbag on it back here.
Oh, you want to know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe we should get a few
little
sandbags.
Yeah, I also have all those free weights. I have a few of them that I don't use that might be heavy enough. And Anyway,
Yeah, there is a local story here that has gone national that a bunch of bands are not playing official South by
I
shows
saw that
because of involvement with the Department of Defense and the U.S.
because they're a
Army
sponsor,
specifically.
right?
They are a sponsor, and they are in the space that I saw Wrestle Circus at in downtown Austin.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Wrestle Circus.
Wrestle Circus was really good.
Great moment in time. Yeah, they're apparently still playing shows because there's a lot of non-South by things, but it is devaluing the worth of the South by price of admission, which is steep. You know, like those members, those bracelets do not come cheap.
They're very expensive.
Very, very expensive. Wait until these bands hear about the Democratic Party. Wrestle Circus fans gotta love where Swerve is in his career. Absolutely. God. I mean, the people that I saw for the first time at Wrestle Circus, Swerve, Leo Rush, MJF, Ethan Page, Lucha Brothers. God, that was one of my favorite memories. Went to go see Wrestle Circus, and a friend of mine's then girlfriend was a Spanish teacher, and also, I can say now because they're no longer together, a fucking problem drinker. Like the girl who shit gets tuned up earlier in the night, and you're like, well, this is gonna be a problem. We are redlining here. But the final match of the night, God, who was it against? It was Lucha Brothers versus another bigger tag team. And she was saying shit in Spanish that was so vile, but was coming from what was obviously a white girl's mouth, that it paused Penta El Zero Mero like 2 or 3 times during the match because she was screaming like really vile shit in Spanish. Fun times. Was it the Briscoes? No, I don't think the Briscoes were taking those kind of indie dates at the time. I'm sure somewhere on Cage Match I can find exactly what that main event was. But I know it was late. They wound up delaying the show. Like Wrestle Circus, for all of its great booking abilities, and Sammy Guevara, probably the number one person that I saw there. But for all of the great elements there, they were not exactly the military precision. Let's just say.
Yeah.
It might have been Joey Ryan. Might have been Joey Ryan and Delilah Van Doom. That might have been it.
I don't remember. It was so long ago. And I wasn't there.
That was one that I don't think that you were there. Did we ever go together?
No.
Oh, I guess, was that just Go Game stuff? No, I think that was after the Go Game.
I think it was after the Go Game. I think you were here for some reason.
Just here for reasons.
For fun.
For fun.
Kicks.
Yeah.
For podcasting.
Exactly.
I kind of feel like that. I mean, I haven't been to South by properly.
Yeah.
In years, and I just feel like there's not really a reason to go.
Well, we're locals now, so it's actually a pain in the ass.
Well, it's a pain in the ass, but even before then, I mean, I think the most fun I had at it is when, and this is all off like track because whatever, but the stuff that you and Brian were doing with like the Sky 5 stuff and the Stubbs barbecue stuff, there was also just like a lot to do outside of the convention center. Like if you weren't an attendee.
Yeah.
And I don't think that exists in the same way anymore because like everything that I know, like I did pop by last year for Twitch. I was meeting some of the music team people and I went to one of their things, but you pretty much have to have a bracelet for damn near everything. So there's just, I mean, you were, up there the other day, but like, did it feel like there were lots of street stuff? Because I just feel like the money's died down and like how businesses are investing in that way. Because I don't feel like South by is as big as it used to be.
Well, it's not as dumb as it used to be, which was the best
Yeah.
part about it.
Yeah.
Was that like,
The spoils of the tech industry.
yeah. I mean, the golden age for us was number one, you had a lot of new social media stuff. And that's something that actually I wonder if like next year we're going to see a resurgence of what my favorite part of South by was, which is like a bunch of new apps that are debuting and are trying to get traction. I do think that AI is going to see a huge fucking bump in apps, and South by might again be the place where you can get that level.
Ow!
Oh, shit.
Over me in
Sorry.
the eye.
I'm sorry.
Violence. Ban him.
I
Ban
know.
him. Report for violence. Ugh.
So I think that might be the case. And then also it's all these companies that are just starting that have like a shit ton of money and they're spending it in stupid ways, like having gigantic parties that are open for the public and a bunch of stuff on the street. The coolest stuff that is out there now, like I walked back, I was meeting friends downtown last Saturday, and then I walked back. The coolest thing now is all of the big promo for like new media projects.
Yeah.
Like the tech week has really become the media week. So
Yeah.
it's all LA and not San Francisco, which means less Robert Scoble, but more you accidentally run into Eli Roth in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. And so it's like I was texting you while we were on the phone. There's a really, really cool installation for the Three Body Problem, the new Netflix show from the Game of Thrones guys.
Yeah.
And so it's this huge, awesome like countdown thing. And then there's like a weird lady who's telling you some stuff, but it looks awesome. It's like this really cool 3D projection. But you know, that's the cool thing now. It's not, hey, try my crazy app. Which that was fun.
I remember there were like food people too that were like just giving away free food because they had like new products basically that they wanted. Like I think if I recall correctly, maybe it wasn't the year that you guys did that show, but I remember being down there once and like the Impossible Burger people at the time were like they showed up at South by and were
Yeah.
giving away like free little mini burgers.
Yeah.
And so stuff like that. That's what I miss. But now I'm old and busted and I can't like, I don't know. I just don't want to be around other grimy people,
Yeah.
especially if you're not doing content stuff, because at least if you're doing content stuff and we're part of like that circle, then I
Yeah.
can kind of avoid not necessarily you all, but like the masses. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Not you people.
no,
Yeah.
you people are fine.
You people, yeah.
But the other grimy people.
Exactly.
I don't know. I've become a hermit.
Yeah.
I feel like COVID has sped that up in many ways for me. Where it's just like
I think
don't know,
COVID
man.
plus a 5-bedroom house.
Yes.
Where we can just walk around and do whatever we want.
Yes,
That's
this house is too big.
yeah. It's
We
also
need
really
a smaller
good.
one.
No. What? No. What? No.
If I don't get a job, we need a smaller one. We'll see.
I'm
Kidding.
gonna start fucking selling feed pics on
Okay.
OnlyFans.
All right. Can I be a stay-at-home bird mom?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You're gonna be the OnlyFans husband and be taking pictures and
Yeah,
answering chats.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Because I gotta drop off my laptop and then get a haircut with Andrew Heaton. So
Like pal haircuts? You're going together?
we are
Oh, that's
having
cute.
a little haircut date.
That's cute.
Mhm.
Is it one of those places where they give you like a beer too?
It's in fact got a bar.
Wow.
And the last time that I went, they didn't give me a drink. And so they responded, they emailed me and they were like, we're putting it on your account that you're going to get another drink.
Oh, so you get 2 drinks today.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, big time.
Am I going to need to pick you up?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. That's it. Friends, Till next time, this is your old pal, Justin Robert Young, wishing you a very, very happy weekend. We will be back streaming on Monday. If you are a patron of PX3, then you will get your Sunday bonus. And also a reminder, PX3 is all video now. Patron episodes are video. The free episodes are video. We had our first week where both of the episodes were all on video on our YouTube, youtube.com/politics. Okay. That's it.
That's it.
We'll see you later, friends.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.